I'm Jane Rook and I'm a healthcare professional, and I've worked with older people all my life, but recently it's been very real for me as my dad has dementia. So my father's been living with dementia for about 4 years, and to begin with it wasn't so much of a problem, but as time has gone by he's become more withdrawn and the fog of dementia has been descending more frequently. And I was talking to somebody about what alternatives there were to help engage with him, and came across this piece of kit from Dementia Life. I took delivery of this wonderful new piece of kit, and it was really easy to switch on and to get into very quickly. Because it's just touch buttons, no keyboard, easy to use, I was really confident that I could use it successfully, and therefore if I could, I'm sure my dad could. He grasped it very, very quickly. It's very easy to move on from one screen to the next, very easy to save memories by just clicking on a certain button, very easy to revisit in the future as well, saved as favourites. So really the level of knowledge of using this technology was not very great, and I was hugely grateful for that, because I knew I could leave it with my dad and he'd get on with it, as would my mum, and they're 86 and 85, and although there are plenty of silver surfers around, they're not some of them. It was really interesting once I left this machinery with my mum and dad. I was really confident they could have a go, because it really is very simple to use. And I was heartened when I saw that his grandchildren, who'd got their iPads and their iPods, were fascinated with this new piece of technology that their granddad had got. And actually, you know, it was really exciting to see their interest in this, and I was very confident to leave it with them and for them to get to grips with it. Very simple. After I'd started to use this software with my dad, we were looking at some pictures of the past, and it was great to be able to talk about camping and holidays and visits to the seaside and birthday parties and some of the critical connections with my past that we'd not spoken about for many years. It really unlocked that. We clicked on, I think it was probably a picture of the high street in Somerset, somewhere that I'm not certain he's ever been, and that really wasn't the relevant part of this exciting part of our conversation, because he leaned in and said, "There's a motorbike. And it's a motorbike and sidecar." I said, "Well, what do you mean, Dad, a motorbike and sidecar?" "It's an Indian Brave," he said. "It's what I brought you out of hospital in when you were born." I was completely astonished. This is a story I didn't know anything about. He said, "Yeah, it always had a leaky roof and your mum had to hold an umbrella over her head as she brought you home." And I was completely taken aback by this beautiful story, something I absolutely didn't know anything about, and which sparked a real reminiscence from my mum as well. I think the thing about this particular piece of technology is it's been something that my dad's been in control of, that he's been able to share with others, that he's had some role in organising for others as well. And he'd started to watch old films but could never quite get to the end because he couldn't remember how the beginning was. But this was something that was very quick, short, easy to talk about, and engaged with his friends at a very different level. And it was a great relief that his friends were able to talk to him about something that they had in common, some past memory, something from the war, something from the days of rationing. All of those things are on the digital reminiscence therapy, and it provides a real good talking point for my mum, for her to talk to my dad, but also when people visited the house, they could talk to my dad without my mum having to be around all the time. So she got a great deal of relief, and so from a quality of life perspective, it was something that she valued as much as my dad. One of the sad things is that people that live with dementia can often become quite isolated in their own world, and there's less of an outlet for people to have discussions about things that they remember. And one of the things for my dad is that it's a great opportunity for him to be able to speak to others and to show them something of their own past, something of a shared past as well. And it's been great fun for the whole family to take part in. Using this digital reminiscence software therapy unit could be really helpful for those who perhaps display behaviours that are difficult and more challenging, and actually used as an alternative to antipsychotic drugs. It's a really valuable tool. We all know that the prescription of antipsychotic drugs is something that we would all not wish to see in great quantities, and this is a really good alternative in a market where there is very little alternative to be had currently. So the personal costs to society are immense. The cost of caring for people with dementia is estimated to double in the next 30 years. Anything there can be that can help people to retain their independence and live successfully at home for as long as possible has got to be a good thing. I think my experience is really powerful, that this has been a great piece of software that I can use to have great conversations with my dad, and it's maintained his independence to an extent. And I think wherever you are, whether you're in hospital or in a care setting or in your own home, this is a key tool to maintain that independence, and for that reason I think it's a really powerful piece of technology.